How about now? Can you hear me now? Because I think this may have actually been user error. I think it was user error.
How about now?
Yep, there we go.
Can you hear me now? Because I think this.
Totally user error, guys. Totally user error. I had my microphone on mute because that was wicked smart. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm going to bring my mic a little bit closer so that you can hear me a little bit better. Okay, let me turn off my still can't hear thing. Okay, all right. Check it out, guys. Look at what we got. I'm going to bring this down. Sweet. Checking this out. Did you see this new hotness that I got? This new hotness. It's amazing. It's called Be Live, and it lets me do things like this. Oh, look, I just totally added my desktop to the broadcast. I know it's a little bit delayed, but and then I'm going to totally like take it down and be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to show this right now. Huh? What? Come on, son. This is amazing. Okay, so thank you guys for posting the link earlier to people who were asking about. I know I'm going to give you guys seizures by continuously doing that, so I'm not going to do that anymore. Yes, it will be for replay. It will definitely be available for replay. So I'm going to have to, I realize I'm going to have to leave. I'm going to have to alt tab out a little bit just because I have some target audiences. I had to take pictures of them because alas, my printer broke. I was going to print out the target audience ideas that everybody had, and then my printer just wouldn't work. So that's how my day's gone. Hello, Amy. Hello, Brad. No comments are showing. Oh, wait, you guys can't see comments? Interesting. Okay, how do I? Oh, wait, that's really weird that you can't see comments. Hold on. Let's play around with this and go and check and see. I mean, we're going to do this here together because this is what we do. Let's go to business strat. Oh, wait, you know what? That's perfect. So let's go to, you can see comments. Okay. So someone can see comments. So I feel like it might have something to do with where you're looking at it. Yeah. Okay. So this is not a me issue. Okay. This is not a me issue. That's good to know. It's not me. It's you. Hold on, let me see. I can actually see the comments in here, so you may have to click into it.
Where you're looking at it? Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. All right. So we're just gonna continue going as long as it's not user error that I can fix. We're good. Okay. Swipe left. All right. So I can actually see them on my computer, Christina O'Malley. Okay, but check this out. Check what I can do here. I'm going to do this now because I know you guys have seen this before, but it's still like so cool. I'm going to do this one because Angie Camper said this. Look at that. Angie Camper's comment gets up on screen, which is like wicked cool. So I'll hide that now again. All right. So today we're going to talk about target audience in the audience insights tool. See, Angie, look what I just did. How cool is that? Dude, Be Live is awesome. So before we talk about target audience insights, just want to go over a few things really quick, housekeeping stuff, what have you. So first is this will be available for replay. So if you guys are watching this replay, #replay warrior, don't worry that we always leave our videos up because we have busy lives. Not everybody's able to make it when we first go live. No problem. It's called Be Live, my friend. Be Live. Be Live. I'm going to make so much use of this. Because I love it. So something to keep in mind is that when we talk, and my dogs are distracting. When we talk about target audiences, okay, there is a broad spectrum of things to talk about in terms of target audiences. It's not one of those things where we can sit down and sort of be like, all right, let's talk about our target audience. Oop, wrote it all out and we're done. There are a lot of facets that go into it, but the more research that I do, the more I've discovered that it doesn't matter. Again, I've said this like a couple of times and I'm going to say it again because that's how strongly I feel about it. When I listen to podcasts, go to trainings, have been to seminars, conventions, blog posts, articles, academic articles, no matter coaching sessions, no matter what I read, no matter what I look at, no matter what I've learned, every single training starts with knowing your target audience. But the same people who teach all that say that it is one of the things that very, very few people actually do. It is actually the number one fundamental piece that you can do to completely revolutionize your business that people do not do. And it's not just the little retailers. It's not just direct sellers. It's everyone. No business owner does it. And people with a lot more experience with me, like more years of experience, so they have a lot more of a data bank to draw on. They see the same thing. So what I really think would be amazing for all of us is if we get started on understanding our target audience, because I think that is one of the fundamental aspects of our businesses that we have sort of neglected, that we can work through that might help us to see more about who it is that we're serving, so that we can serve them better, so that we can attract them better, so that our customer base will grow and our sales will grow, because ultimately that's the goal, right? We want to make sales. For today, we're going to go over a very specific aspect of building your target audience. It's actually going to be the research part, where you learn about your target audience. What can you get to know about them using the Audience Insights tool? This is a public training. It is located on the Direct to Success business page, so you can feel free to share it anywhere you'd like. There are a couple of links in the description. The first link is for my newsletter. So if you want to be informed when the target audience training goes out, which is actually launching tomorrow, I'm this close to being done. I actually finished the video today. I did the editing. All I have left, because I had everything ready except for the video editing. All that's left now is a few transitions, and then bam, we're good to go. So tomorrow, you look in your email, you look on the business strategy page, a group, you look on Direct to Success, you will find this announced, because it is, I know, I am so excited. I can't even tell you, like, my heart is like pounding. It's like I'm opening a package. And then there are 2 links up above, one for Rhode Island and one for Connecticut. These are my in-person trainings. We go over some of this stuff, but there's a lot more that we talk about, and there's a lot of one-on-one, group coaching. I'm keeping these groups very, very small. I am not allowing more than 10 people to register for any of these events. There are some that maybe I'll let go to 15, but these are only going to 10 people because I want them to be small conversations where you can ask questions and then we can have more of a collaborative environment. So if you're looking for that kind of small coaching environment for, with me, then Rhode Island is coming up next Friday and Connecticut is coming up on Saturday. Or if you have any friends or retailers who you think would benefit from it, definitely share those links with them. Okay, I am super, super excited. Okay. So without further ado, let me tell you how it's going to work. Okay, so I have, I'm going to alt tab in order to get to the stuff that I need, because fortuitously I actually have the information that I need on a, where is it? That's not it. I had it here somewhere. There we go. Okay. What I did was I had you guys send me your suggestions for what you'd like to see me use the Audience Insights tool for. Okay. So I got a list of target audience ideas. So who is your target audience, right? And some of you gave me some very specific interests that your target audiences have. What we're going to do is we're going to go through the target audience, the Audience Insights tool and Facebook, using some of the examples that that you guys gave me. For those of you that have, there we go. All right. Oh, it's going the other way. Okay. Oh, isn't he looking adorable? Oh, he is the most adorable of them all. Okay. So the first thing to remember is that the target audience tool is, and I'm going here, the Audience Insights tool, it is a research tool. Okay. Which means that we can use it to build our target audience as well. But I personally right now don't really use it for that. I use it to learn about my customer. Because when you think about knowing your customer, when you think about the kind of person that you talk to, oftentimes when I ask people, can you tell me who your target customer is? The answer that I get is they're a woman. Okay. They are between the ages of 25 and 65 plus. And they have self-esteem issues. Those are the 3 things that I hear the most. And what's funny is that describes half of the women in America. Okay. And if I asked you to describe yourself right now, like I'd say, I'm going to pick Katie Grasso. Katie, if I said, Katie, describe yourself, I doubt that the words you would choose to use to describe yourself would be, I'm a woman between the ages of 25 to 30 or 25 to 65 plus, and I have self-esteem issues, right? That's not how you would describe yourself. And if somebody was to say, okay, well, what do you like? What do you not like? Right? You're not going to say, well, I don't like my body. That's not going to be your first answer. You're not going to say, well, I like being the age that I'm at, right? You don't identify, when you think about who you are, that is part of who you are, of course, like our gender, our age, whatever. That's definitely part of us. However, when you think of who you are, you just think of yourself as a person and the characteristics that make you up as a person. Well, I like dogs and I hate getting up in the morning, and I love my family, and I really love watching sci-fi shows. And so if I was to describe myself, I would say consummate geek, love World of Warcraft, wish I could play more. I love to help people. I don't really wear makeup because I don't like the feeling of things being caked on my face. I don't like shopping, right? Those are the words that we use to describe ourselves. Hi, Marjorie. We do not use our demographics to describe ourselves. We don't talk about ourselves saying, well, I have brown, maybe we might say we have brown hair, but that's not really how we identify ourselves. But yet when we talk about targeting our customers and defining them, that's what we use as our target, right? So that is not enough. I'm not sure I understand the question, Meredith. This is just in general. I'm just talking about your actual target customer, whoever, because it doesn't matter if it's in your group or on your page. It doesn't matter if they're in person or not. The person that you're targeting is the same person no matter what. Now, you may have, of course, like maybe you're in person, you happen to get along way better with people in the ages of 25 to 35 who are very geeky. And then online, maybe you tend to get along with people who suffer from mental illness and are between the ages of 50 and 65. Right? Sure. Maybe that's a little different. But in terms of whether they're in your group or your page, that's not going to be relevant. Whether they're on your Instagram or Twitter, that's not going to be relevant. What matters is, who is this person? What do they like? What do they not like? Right? The Audience Insights tool, that is, so the Audience Insights tool, you can find it you just do a Google search for it. The training that I'm doing tomorrow will give you a link to, what I can do actually here. Let me do this for you. Oh, you know what? I can do this now because fortuitously, okay, there we go. I just love this new tool. Look at that. Okay, so there you can use that to find your audience insights. You're gonna have to type it all in, unfortunately. So Meredith, this tool, again, it's the same sort of thing. This is not a business page or a group tool. This is actually a completely separate tool from anything else that you use. And it's basically a research tool. It's like saying, should I use Google in my face or my group? Like Google, you can use it anywhere, right? The same thing goes for the Audience Insights tool. It's just a tool separate that Facebook provides so that you can learn more about your target audience. Now, when I say your target audience, we are defining this person. So you can't use this to, you cannot use this to learn about people in your group ever. You can use it to learn about people on your page, but you do need a very specific number of people, and I don't actually know what that number is, before the tool will work on your page. So for the most part, most people do not have those number of people in their group right now, so it doesn't provide them with a lot of value at this time, okay? So in order for you to be able to, to use this, we're going to start by saying we want to know everybody on Facebook. Okay, so we're going to learn about everybody on Facebook. All right, so right now when you look at this, you see that there's 200 million, 250 million monthly active people. Okay, and that is women between that right now is 18 to any. Okay, and gender is all and no interest. So all that we've defined here is the United States. If we get rid of the United States, we'll see more than 1 billion active people. Now, what's interesting about this is there are 2.3 billion Facebook users, but there's only 1 billion monthly active people. Okay, so that's interesting to know because there's a lot of people who clearly are on Facebook but not using it. Okay, so I'm just going to narrow that down again by the United States. Okay, so, oh no, thanks, Justin. Okay, so now we're here. And we're looking at this thing right here. This section right here is the part where you see all of the blue bars at the top. And again, there's a slight delay, so I'm trying to keep an eye over here also so that I can just see that, make sure that I'm accurate. But this section that I'm looking at right now, this is your demographic breakdown of the people who are fitting this description. Okay. So when you want to learn about a target audience, what you want to do is you want to narrow it down by the things on the left-hand side so that you can see what their demographics look like on the right-hand side. Hi, Alicia. Okay, so in this case, we've narrowed it down to United States. Let's narrow it down to women. Okay, so we're going to narrow it down to women. And now you'll notice here at the top, it says 100 to 150 million monthly active women. Okay, all right. So that means that out of the entire Facebook audience, that's how many women are active. Okay. Hi, Regina. Okay, so then let's say that we're going to narrow this down even further. Now, what I'm going to do to narrow this down is I'm actually going to pick something that one of you guys mentioned, okay, as something you wanted to talk about. So we're going to use Jackie Hines, okay? So Jackie Hines said that her target demographic, and I'm going to write this down, okay, because I need to have this written down somewhere, okay, is Torrid, okay? So you're going to write all this stuff down too, okay? So when you're picking yours, target, she said Starbucks, and Grey's Anatomy. Okay. Now I'm assuming that she wrote this down. And Teeks also. Okay. I'm assuming that she selected these very specifically because that's stuff that she likes. Okay. So she likes Torrid, Target, Starbucks, Grey's Anatomy, and Teeks. Okay. So, and I'm writing this down here just to show you. Okay. So that's what I'm writing down. All right. And she wants to learn more. So maybe that's all she knows about her customer. She knows that the person that I'm talking to, I want to be able to get along with. So I want them to like the same things that I like. I actually should use a Sharpie on this one. I probably shouldn't be using a pen because you can't read anything that I write with a pen. There's this woman I follow. Her name is Rachel Miller. I think her name is Rachel something. And she always uses a Sharpie. And I remember seeing that yesterday and thinking, wow, this woman's so smart. I should definitely use a Sharpie when I do this. And then completely forgot to do that. Okay. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in Teeks. Okay. Note how you can see that Teeks shows up here, and then it's going to be a bit of a delay for you guys, but that's okay. All right. And it changes. All right. So the whatever is showing up on the right-hand side, you'll notice that when I press that button Teeks right there, that the demographics on the right-hand side change. Okay. So what we did learn just now is if she said, well, let's say all Jackie knew about her target customers that they're women, she doesn't know any ages, but she knows that they like Teeks. Okay. So when she knows that they like Teeks, we're going to just draw this out here and we're going to look at these demographics. Okay. So we're going to look at age here. Okay. Just writing out age on this one. Okay. And I'm going to notice that most of the people who buy Teeks are between the ages of 25 to say 54. Okay. All right. So I know that for that particular group, the age range is 25 to 54. So if I was still trying to figure out who what my age demographic is for this group, I could look at that and say, oh, okay, it's 25 to 54. Now, what if I wanted to know where these people work? Like what people who like Teeks, what kind of jobs do they work in? Okay. When you scroll down, you can scroll down a little bit and you'll see that there is a job title section down here. All right. And what this job title section does is it tells you, and I'm going to sort it by type and by selected audience. And it tells you that the people who like Teeks are 4% more likely than the average Facebook user. So the gray bar in the background is the average Facebook user, and the blue bar in the front is the audience that we've currently picked. Okay. So we're going to learn now that a person who likes Teeks is 4% more likely to be in sales than the average Facebook user. But someone who likes Teeks is 138% more likely than the average Facebook user to be in education and libraries. Okay. Why that's interesting is because that starts to give us, it narrows down the audience to what it is that we can actually sort of want to say to them. So for example, let's say after looking at this, Jackie decides that she wants to try out an ad or try out content that will attract people who work in the educational or the library sciences field, right? So for that, she may say, I'm going to target elementary librarians. Like that's who I'm going to target. So, and my mom incidentally was an elementary librarian. So if she's going to target elementary librarians, what is she going to do to attract these people? Okay. She's going to maybe make an ad that is very bright and colorful, probably includes a lot of the color from our leggings and our Irmas, because, you know, she may not be able to wear that to work. Maybe she can wear an Amelia. She's probably going to highlight our Disney. She's going to highlight bright colors and bold prints, because that's children like that kind of thing, right? And as an elementary librarian, she's going to really want to have clothes that she can wear that are going to keep the kids excited, right? She probably may also really like those, the kitschy types, you know, the ones where with like French fries or makeup or high heels, because those are the kinds of things that kids like in, you know, elementary school. So knowing that they are in education and library sciences, we can see teachers love Teeks. Okay. So we can now make sure that we're targeting, if we can have specific content that is targeting that particular group. All right. So now we're starting to define our target audience. But what's interesting now is that we're going to, and we'll come back to a number of these. Okay. So we're going to go back to page likes for a sec. Okay. So let's say all she knows is that they like Torrid, Target, Starbucks, and Grey's Anatomy and Teeks, but she wants to learn more about them. If you go into the page likes section, at that point, she can learn even more, right? She can be like, okay, looks like they also like Stitch Fix. Okay, now that's important, all right? Stitch Fix. Okay, why? Because Stitch Fix is a subscription service. Okay, it's a subscription service, which means that if the people who like TEKS, who are elementary librarians, right? So we're going to write down elementary librarians too, just because that's a thing that we can learn about. Okay, elementary librarians. Okay, and they like Stitch Fix, then that person probably will also be very into outfits, capsules, and subscription boxes of our own. Okay, so we know in advance now that the person that we're talking to likes subscription boxes, likes comfort, and teaches and is a librarian. So we have a very specific idea now of the kinds of clothes they may want to wear. We know, for example, that we're not going to create an ad or create content that is full of mauves and browns and grays, which you may do for somebody working in the healthcare or the medicine industry, right? Medical industry, because they have to wear more muted colors. But for somebody who's working in elementary librarians or who are working in teaching or that kind of thing, they're probably going to want something more color. So you've figured out that your ad or your content needs to be colorful. And it needs to appeal to somebody so that you can tell them through your content that you cater to librarians, that you have bright, bold colors, that it's great for school, that the kids will love it, that kind of thing. So now you're starting to build a profile and use this information to build the content that you need to attract your target customer. Okay. You're not going to attract this target customer by saying, hashtag sale or 50%. I mean, you may be able to get them for 50% off, but you're not going to get them for 50% off if they're not already attracted to your product, right? You're not going to get them by saying, oh my gosh, look how much we have. It's all new. It's all exciting, whatever. That's not going to appeal to this person. This person is looking for something very, very specific, and they're not going to want to sit around for 10 hours while somebody goes through 3,000 pieces of inventory till they get to the one piece that they can buy. They don't have a lot of time. So they're looking for somebody to be able to provide them with that service. Feel free, by the way, to ask questions as we go through. You do not need to, you don't need to wait till I'm at a pause point or anything like that. For those of you just joining us, we are talking about how to use the Audience Insights tool oh, that's not the right one. I was actually going to just post the link again in case you guys wanted to go find it yourselves. There we go. All right. Okay. So another thing that we can learn, and this is very interesting. Okay. This is extremely interesting for me. I'm actually going to change the interest, okay, from TEKS, and I'm going to change it to LuLaRoe. All right. And here's why I want to do this. Okay. Because I want to go into the activity section. Okay. We're going to go to the activity section. And in the activity section, you can learn about the frequency of the activities on average for each individual person. Okay, so what that means is on average, the people who who like LuLaRoe or who are interested in LuLaRoe, this is how many times that these particular people liked a page, or shared a post, or clicked on an ad. Okay, so if you look at this, this will tell you what their habits are like, which makes it so that you can target your ads No, we're not assuming that all these types well, yes, technically all these people are in your groups, but you don't want all these people in your groups. You actually want a very specific target audience in your group. The reason for that is because if you try to talk to everybody, if you try to appeal to every audience, you will appeal to no audience at all, and people will leave your group. 100%, I can guarantee it, they will leave your group. And the people that are there will be lukewarm at best. Those are the people who stay are going to be the ones that I hear about all the time, which is they engage all the time, but they never buy anything. They take freebies and they don't buy anything. And the reason that people do that is because they do not feel strongly about your group one way or the other. And the reason that they don't feel strongly about your group is because you are trying to appeal to so many people that you're appealing to no one. And this is a mistake that a lot of retailers make, not just LuLaRoe retailers, but retailers across the board. It doesn't matter what you're selling. So many people are trying to work by the law of numbers. And since they're trying to work by the law of numbers, they're trying to appeal to everyone. And what they're doing is they're losing their audience. Their audience is bored. And so they're going. The class that I'm releasing tomorrow is all about this entire topic. It'll talk about your target audience. This area right here is for you to understand how to use this tool to learn more about your target audience as you go through the class. So when you come in here, but this is why this is interesting, okay? You note over here, on average, people who like LuLaRoe only share about 10 posts. That's it. I believe monthly. Yeah, in the last, monthly. They only share about 10 posts monthly. So on average, if you look at each of us, now probably maybe Justin, right? Maybe Justin shares like a lot of, let me turn that link thing off. Maybe Justin shares a lot of posts, right? And maybe you, Sabrina, don't share many at all, okay? But on average, we share about 10. 10 posts a month is not a lot of posts. Now, there's a couple of things to sort of keep in mind here. The first is that it's hard to say whether all the people who are up here, this 600 to 700, are LuLaRoe retailers or if they're fans. So obviously there's not 700,000 LuLaRoe retailers, so we know that a lot of these are fans. But you can tell by looking at this that they only share about 10 times a month, which means that when we ask them to share, it is high. There's very few people who are actually doing it. This demographic is not happy with sharing. They don't like to share. So even though a lot of people are saying share, 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 and I know that a lot of you are saying share, 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 and when you go back to look at your feed, you see that maybe only 1 or 2 people shared, and it's the same 1 or 2 people that share every time. It's because these particular people, they're not big on sharing. Okay, they're really big on liking. They will like. They'll even click on ads, right? They're huge ad clickers, okay? But they are not really that into sharing things, all right? So that helps us because when we go to target others, right? So let's say we're going to get rid of LuLaRoe and we're going to go back to Teeks here, okay? Now, if we look at Teeks, you'll see that people who like Teeks are even less likely to share, okay? So both Teeks and LuLaRoe are more likely to share than your average Facebook user, but it's still not a whole lot, okay? What that helps you to do is that helps you to decide which target audience is most likely to do the activity that you're trying to get them to do, all right? So in this case, we're talking about sharing, so that's what we're doing, but let's say we're trying to get people to engage with us, okay? If we're trying to get people to engage with us, people who like Teeks engage and comment 31 times on average per month, okay? Whereas the average Facebook user, they only comment about 6 times per month. So people who like Teeks are way more likely to comment. So you are more likely when you target to, when you post something in your group about Teeks, or when you post something on your business page about Teeks, you are much more likely to get people to comment on your post than you are to get them to share it, or maybe get them to join your group, or something else. But for right now, you know that if you create an ad and you target people who like Teeks, that what you really want to be asking for is some kind of engagement, because they are clearly gung-ho on engagement, which means because you know they will. So you can improve the chances of your getting results by targeting people who are likely to engage in the activities that will give you those results. Okay, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. Let me know if you have any questions on that one. Okay. You can also tell that they clicked on 45 ads this month. That means more than 1 a day on average, which means that somebody who is into Teeks is very likely to be clicking on ads, which means you probably want to be targeting them, okay? Because I'm going to do ads here. Okay, ads, I'm going to do 41. Okay, 41, because they're 41, and then we'll do comments. Okay, those comments and likes. Okay, we'll try to do them both, comments and likes. It's tough to get all of this on one paper, okay? Comments is 31 and 41, and this is 45. Okay, so now we've learned this about people who here, this is what it looks like right now, okay? This looks a bit messy, but it's basically company, age, I can only see the back, whether or not they click on ads, comments, and likes, okay? So if I am here now, let's say I get rid of Teeks and go to her next one. Let's say I go to Grey's Anatomy. Okay, we're going to pick Grey's Anatomy now. Grey's Anatomy, all right? Now, if we look at Grey's Anatomy, you'll see that on average, the people who like Grey's Anatomy they're only like, what is this, 3 people? They liked 3 pages. So on average, they've only liked 3 pages. That's not a whole lot compared to Teeks where they liked 7 pages. They don't comment a lot, okay? So if these guys comment, all right, they're 21 as opposed to the other group, which was 31. So if we're looking for comments, we may not see a whole lot of that, okay? But 44 times a month, 44 times a month, they clicked on ads, okay? What that means is that if you're going to target people with your ad campaigns, you're going to want to target the people who are most likely to click on ads, All right. I don't actually know a group that doesn't click on ads that much. So I'm sort of working my way through this in terms of that. All right. And then let's go look at, since we looked at Grey's Anatomy, let's go back to our demographics section and let's learn something about their age group. Okay. Now this is very interesting. Okay. So we're seeing now that the age group for Grey's Anatomy is 18 to 34 mostly, which incidentally was not what I would have thought. Okay. I would have actually thought it was a different age range. Okay. So if Grey's Anatomy, 44, 21, and 37. Okay. If Grey's Anatomy is between the ages of 18 to 34, okay, and Grey's Anatomy is between the ages of 18 to 34, and Teeks is between the ages of 25 to 54, the intersection is between the ages of 25 to 34. That's their intersection right now. So if you were to try and target a group that likes both the Teeks and Stitch and Grey's Anatomy, you would be narrowing down your audience very significantly. So you're actually learning a lot more about your audience. Now you may decide that I may have been a little wrong. Maybe they don't like Grey's Anatomy. Maybe they don't like Teeks, right? And you may adjust it accordingly. But this helps you to understand the age group in which you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is wonderful. Ashley's question is so good. Oh, so good. So here's Ashley's question. It's going to take up the whole screen, but I want to show it because it's really good. Okay. So when we target people with ads, when you start out, you want to limit it by one audience because you really need to get to know whether or not that's a good audience for you to be targeting. So you'll keep your demographic information fairly consistent. You'll have your age, your gender, income level, things like that. You're probably going to keep fairly consistent across the board, but your interests you're going to want to change up. Once you've figured out, I would actually spend time figuring out your age demographic first, and then you can workshop the interests. But if you put in, let's say you put in Grey's Anatomy, we put in Stitch Fix, and we put in Teeks, and we put in Elementary Librarian, and do it all in one target audience, right? Then there's no way for you to know which of the people who actually interacted with you came from which group. So you don't know which group was actually was giving you success and which group was not, right? And so now you could be wasting your money on your ads, showing your ad to people who are not actually that interested in your product, right? So let's say the people from the Teeks, right, are absolutely not interested in your product at all, right? But you've looped them in because you think they do. And the return that you get is lukewarm because one of the audiences that you pick doesn't like what you're selling. If you bunch a bunch of them together, there's no way for you to tell which of those 5 that you selected is the one that is the problem. All right. So that's why you want to make sure that at least when you're starting out and testing that you have one separate one. Now, once you've figured it out, like let's say you figure out that, in the end, yes, the same goes for advertising events. The only difference between that would be that events, if they're local events, you're going to geographically restrict them. But other than that, they're basically the same in terms of your audience selection. So let's say you're just starting out. So for those of you just starting out, which most of you are, you're going to want to start out just with working on your demographics. Okay. So how old are they? What do they, how many children do they have? Are they married? Things like that. So the target audience training that's coming out tomorrow, that goes through it in excruciating detail. I have a full training. There's an audio file that you can listen to walk you through the workbook. There's a workbook. There's resources. Like I've put the whole shebang together for you so that you really shouldn't need to go anywhere else to get, any additional information. You can, of course, there's plenty of information out there, but I just kind of distilled it and put it all into like one little bucket package so that you guys can just be like, I'm going to learn my target audience today. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get this, I'm going to learn it. And that's probably going to take you more than one day. But now if you are, oh, you know what I didn't put in here? I didn't put my newsletter link in here. I have some really cool, like little things that are going to go up on the screen later on. But they'll come afterwards. Oh, you know what? I'll just do it now. For those of you that may have just joined us, the tickets for Rhode Island are available for the live in-person training. Okay, don't forget that because it's in person. We get to do something. We get to do things like this all the time. This is what we talk about. We go through your own target audiences. It's super fun. I have a great time at these in-person trainings. Casey, this is called Be Live. Okay, so the question is, so for example, I'm advertising Bright Floral Amelia. Okay, so all right, so she says, okay, so Abigail is saying that she's going to advertise the Bright Floral Amelia, and she wants to target women between the ages of 25 to 35, likes Teeks, and works in education. that is a perfect place to start. It's actually a really broad audience, but it's a good place for you to start. Take a look at it and see, like, I wouldn't, if the audience is more than 10 million people, I would narrow it down a little bit more, add another demographic, like maybe you might add like Teeks and works in education. I think the two of those should narrow it down, but maybe you narrow it down by what educational year they work in. Like, do they work in, high school, middle school, elementary school, that kind of thing? I think narrowing that down will help more. But that's exactly, you're exactly on the right track, Abigail. Okay, so when we, all right, so what we're going to do now is I'm just going to go in here really quick and do Stitch Fix, okay? Because that was another person that we were looking at with Stitch Fix, okay? So now if you look at Stitch Fix, all right, Stitch Fix, the age range on this one is between the ages of 25 to 54, okay? Now, based on what she has said already, what Jackie said already, if I was to say that there's an outlier here, this is the outlier. Grey's Anatomy is the outlier, okay? So I would argue that these two are probably more close to what her target audience is, right? And this here is probably, she has a subset. It's kind of like this, okay? So Teeks, okay? And then this, and then this, okay? So this is going to be Teeks. This is going to be Stitch Fixed. And this is going to be Grey's, okay? So it probably looks like this. All right. It looks like you have Teeks here, Stitch Fix here, and this area here is a wide intersection of people that are in common. Okay. But only this area here, like the Grey's Anatomy. So she probably has a subset that likes Grey's Anatomy, right? But it's probably not a huge set of people. So it's probably, and that's okay. You can have subsets. All right. But it's just important to know that they are a subset. They're not your full audience. Okay, so like you may have and that'll help you when you say, okay, let's say you do a Grey's Anatomy special in your VIP group, right? Where you're like, we're going to watch Grey's Anatomy and we're going to talk about it. It's going to be amazing. She may be surprised to find that her target, that the number of people who are attending her Grey's Anatomy are significantly less than those who attend her other events. And that has the reason that would really just be because of that small intersection, right? That's it. And so it's not really like it's a bad idea to do. You want to cater to, your audience, your core audience. And sometimes you're going to need to do things that not your whole audience likes, but it's just a good thing to know because it helps you with your psychology, because otherwise you start to feel disheartened, right? So think about the difference in the way that we view this. One way you view it, you do this Grey's Anatomy event and only a quarter of the people that usually show up, right? And you're devastated because you're like, I worked so hard. I did so much. I don't understand why it's not working. Why are people here? On the other hand, if you say, I know that the Grey's Anatomy likers are a subset of my main group. I know that not all of my group is going to be interested in this, but I know that my Grey's Anatomy people are hardcore, diehard fans. They will show up for every Grey's Anatomy event that I do. They're going to buy something. They're going to hang out. I'm going to do something for them, right? And you're like, since I can tell that only a quarter of my group is into Grey's Anatomy, only 1% is going to come. You already know in advance what you can expect. So when only a quarter show up, you're not going to be freaking out because you knew that already about your target audience. Sire calls it planned panic. You basically plan in advance for what you know is going to happen based on the information that you already have. And then when it happens, it's not a matter of, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I'm such a failure. Everything's terrible. It's a matter of course that's what happened because I made this choice based on my demographics that this is what I was going to do. Okay. So in this case, if we look at Stitch Fix, we can see our age, but let's go to the activity section. Okay. So if you look at the Stitch Fix, now here's I find this to be very interesting. 39 times a month was how often these people clicked on ads, which is less than a lot of the other people who click on ads, right? Now, funnily, the reason I find this funny is because Stitch Fix is always putting ads out there. I see ads for Stitch Fix all the time. And even though people who see Stitch Fix are more likely to click than people who, are on Facebook in general, they're still less likely than Teeks. Okay, so if you're trying to get someone to click on an ad, you're going to build your VIP group based on these demographics, okay? So what's happened with our VIP groups is that we haven't been speaking to a specific person. All of our VIP groups have been built based on us just saying, buy all of our stuff. We have all these great prints. So our group is made up of a cornucopia of people that we've attracted over the years by being as vanilla and inoffensive as possible. The whole premise behind knowing who your target audience is that if you don't know who they are, if you don't know who this person is down to their toenails, how can you serve them? How can you help them? How can you even begin to know how to talk to them to where they will want to come shop with you, right? If somebody doesn't understand your problem, somebody doesn't understand what you're looking for, if somebody doesn't feel like you get them, they're never going to shop with you. They never will. And what we've done is we've tried to be so inoffensive and so vanilla that what we've done is we've bored everybody to death. People are bored. They don't care about how we met in a GIF. They don't care about, which one of the, Avengers that you want to hook up with. They don't care about any of that. It's fun, it's short, whatever, but that is not a meaningful community. That is not serving people. That is throwing up a post so that you can hope that people will engage with it and they know what you're doing and you know what you're doing, and it's boring to them, right? And I'm not trying to be terrible, but that's actually what it is. And the only way for us to make a change is for us to take what has already been done in terms of marketing principles and say, okay, who is our target audience? Because the second I know who you are and what your problems are, I can help you. So somebody who shops Teeks is probably somebody who has a certain amount of income. They're probably people who are on their feet all day or walking around all day, and they really just want something comfortable to wear, right? So this person is not going to want to wear something that makes them feel uncomfortable, which is why our clothing, LuLaRoe clothing, is perfect for them, right? But there is no way for them to know that if what they see is, join my party, I got lots of new LuLaRoe stuff, and we're doing giveaways. That doesn't tell them that you're going to make it so that they have easy wash and wear clothes, that it's comfortable, just like their Teeks, that you have clothes that will go with their Teeks, things like that. And so what you're doing is you are alienating yourself from all of the people who would actually love to shop with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to build our target audience. We're going to use the information that we're getting from here, and we're going to start designing our VIP groups, designing our customer base. Instead of having our customer base be something that just gets created by accident, we're going to design it. And the way we're going to design it is by identifying who our target audience is, create a content plan that allows us to post content that will have, if we're lucky, it'll have the size of our groups, okay? Because we're going to build a content plan that will make people leave our groups, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get people who do not interact to leave our groups. We're trying to get people who don't really care about us one way or the other and don't shop from us, but they joined us because of some loop and then forgot they were in the group, so they never left, and now they're just pulling our algorithm down. If we start posting meaningful content, they will start to see it, and either they'll decide that they want to be part of our group and start to engage because now they'll remember that they're in it, or they'll leave. But either way, you win, right? The only way you don't succeed in this is if they stay and do nothing, right? Because now they're pulling your algorithm down. They're not engaging. They're not a part of your group. They're not shopping. They're not actually doing anything at all, right? But if you can create content that will resurrect those who don't know they're in your group, it's not actually that scary, Abigail, because if you think about it, you want your engagement rate to be high. You don't want to have a lot of people, and you don't actually need a lot of people, to be perfectly honest. You actually only need about, if you actually have the math on this one, but I don't know it off the top of my head. But you only need about 50 customers who buy $60 from you a month. That 50 customers, $60 from you a month is $3,000. That's it. That's $3,000 right there. Okay. And if it's $3,000 right there, right, and you can obviously play with the numbers a little bit, but that's only 50 customers. So you don't need to have thousands of people in your group. If you want to make 3,000, you just need 50 that are active. If you want to make 6,000, you need 100. If you want to make 12,000, you need 200. Like, that's really all you need. But you need those people to be your loyal customers. And that's what you drive away the downers. So that's what exactly that makes it. And that's the goal, is to make it as simple as possible. Because think about it this way. If you have a group of 200 people who shop with you regularly and you just add in 1 or 2 every week or so who are also going to shop with you regularly, then you're increasing your sales. Let's say 2 people every week at 60 a week. That's 120, right? So 240, 480, that's $480 you're adding per month just by adding 2 people to your group. And if you're just trying to add 2 people to your group, you don't need to target everybody. You really just need to target that one person that you can talk to, right? That one person who have things that you get along with, right? And so we can learn about that from here, but in this area, because this area tells us that the age range that they're in, it tells us their education level, it tells us their relationship status, okay? People who like Stitch Fix are 70% married, which is more than the 49.2% of average Facebook users. So you know that the language you want to use would probably be targeted towards married women, right? You may assume that you decide, you know what, these people aren't just married, they have children, right? They have 3 children. So the way that you frame your language is going to be to make sure that you're tapping into someone who likes children or who has children. This research tool is going to be the most powerful tool that you have. Okay. So when I'm going through this, I want to date night. Perfect. See, exactly. Date night, because you know that they probably don't get a lot of time to go out on a date. Like they probably have date night once a week and they probably skip 3 times out of the month because they don't have time or they don't have a babysitter or the kid's sick or whatever. So they probably end up actually going out 1 time a month. Right. So while I was talking, I don't know if this guy ever happens to you. I was talking, you said date night, and I thought sushi. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I really need to tell Alex I want sushi tonight. Maybe I should make him take me out for sushi. I just did that whole thing in my head. Totally had to shut up, you guys. I really want sushi now. No, these are amazing ideas, Abigail. Amazing ideas. So what you want to really be doing is you want to go in here and you want to enter in whatever interest that you think it is. So she says, now here's an interest that I would suggest that you not really use. Okay. I wouldn't really use Target. And the reason that I wouldn't use Target is because if you look at that post that I wrote, I mean, you can use Target, but I would use it in addition to other things because there's nothing, Target is generic enough to where it's vanilla. It's like saying Walmart. All you're really doing is creating a price point, right? And you can do that with income because almost every single person who posted on that thread said that their target customer likes Target, which means now you're all going after the same target customer. The reason that I picked Jackie's was because Jackie had Teeks and Grey's Anatomy, which was different from what a lot of other people had. And those were so specific that I could use those. Okay. Oh, dude, I'm so jealous. Oh, I should actually put that one up. I'd like put that quote up there. Okay. So now something interesting to note though. Okay. So we're going to come here into the pages liked. People who like Target, which is about 25 million of the active people, they click on ads a lot. So these people like ads. So if you're posting an ad, they may be your right demographic, but they don't share a lot and they don't comment a lot based on everybody else. So we're going to say the ads is 40. So that's pretty high in the ads. And then they comment on 22 and then they like 33, right? So they're on the low end compared to the others. Like right now, so far, Teeks is winning. If I had to pick one audience to start with, I would start with Teeks because Teeks has the highest number of ads, the highest people who click on ads, the highest number of people who share, the highest number of people who comment. It has the highest number of everything. So I would want to start with them to maximize my chances of, I'm putting this back. Yes. All right. So I'm looking at what this says. All right. So I'm looking at everybody's questions before I put this down. Okay. So you're saying we should base the interest here. I'm going to use my cool tool that I keep forgetting that I have because I'll get better at it. This live is a bit clumsy because I'm using this tool for the first time, but don't you worry. Okay. So Meredith says, you're saying we should base the interest on what we enjoy, right? Our interest, because then we're attracting people that we have common interests with. Exactly, Meredith. So you don't want to say that I want to target all women, okay? Because you don't get along with all women. I don't get along with all women. Nobody does, right? You want to make sure that you're targeting people that you really would get along with. So if you happen to be uber geeky, then target geeky women. If you happen to be, really into Grey's Anatomy, target people who like Grey's Anatomy. If you watch The Bachelor religiously, then see if you can target people who like The Bachelor. Don't target The Bachelor if you don't like The Bachelor, because then you're getting a demographic that you don't really have anything in common with. Because what you really want to have happen is you want to build relationships with these people. You want to be friends with these people. They want to be friends with you. But the only way for that to happen is if you have enough in common to where you have a ground to start with. Okay. Abigail says, so being specific in our target points is very important. Abigail, you are full of genius bombs today. I'm just going to say #genius bomb. Okay. Because you are full of them today. So that is exactly it. You want to be as targeted and specific as possible, because you are talking to a very specific person. Now, you're going to have different subsets within them, okay? So you're going to have, so for example, when you talk about somebody who likes Teeks, education, whatever, you're going to have a subset in them of people who heard of LuLaRoe and people who haven't heard of LuLaRoe, okay? You're going to have different buckets there. And if you've heard of LuLaRoe, you might advertise a little bit differently than the people who haven't heard of LuLaRoe, because you're trying to warm up the people who haven't heard of LuLaRoe, and the people who've heard of LuLaRoe, they already know about it. So you're just going to focus on telling them what you have. Okay. All right. I'm going to come back here, and then, I'm sorry, Brad, that sucks. Okay. So Meredith says that's so freeing to, why am I looking there? I can look right here. She tries so much to please everyone instead of just being me. Okay. Meredith, 100%. You want to let go of that. Don't try to please everyone. In fact, just be yourself, share of yourself, be authentic, post about the things that you like. And the great part about this is, while other people are using Sociograph and spending hours and hours removing the dead weight from their group, you will do it organically. Because what happens is that communities will self-select. Okay. Let me show you this. Communities will I wish that the font was bigger. Okay. Communities will self-select. What I mean by that is that, how do I make that bigger? Maybe I'll give it an emoji. Can I give it an emoji? I want to give it an emoji because I feel like it. Cool. I gave it an emoji. Sorry. Look at me being I'm like a kid. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. Okay. Communities will self-select. Okay. And what that means is that if you talk about nothing, right, just everything to appeal to everyone, then you're vanilla enough to where Facebook isn't going to show your content to anyone, right? It's just going to show it to the smallest, the 1%, because it doesn't it already knows that you're not really engaging with people. There's not a relationship building, because how can you? You don't really know them. But when you start posting content that you like, stuff that you care about, it's going to start showing up on people's feeds. And then people who see it, who are like you and who do like you, will gravitate towards you even more, because now they feel like they have a connection. And it's true, Sociograph isn't working right now, but that's what people were using before. So there's this connection that you guys can build, right? There's no way for your group to connect with you if they don't know who you are. And nothing about tell me how we met in a GIF tells them who you are. But if you post about how much you love puppies, right? There's my little puppy back there. If you tell them how much you love puppies and how puppies are your life and they're the greatest things ever, and you want to start a shelter, now they can know you. And what's going to happen is the people that don't like dogs, they're going to leave your group. Let them leave. It's fine. They were never going to shop with you anyway. The people who leave your group will never shop with you anyway. So you're going to organically now remove people from your group. Okay. All right, Abigail, thank you for coming. And thanks you for all your genius bombs. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an environment in which people who don't want to be there will leave. And what that allows us to do in an awesome way is it gets us to a place where where the people who are there are more likely to see our posts. The people who are there that like us are more likely to see our posts. They become part of the 1% that Facebook sends our stuff out to. And when they see it and they're excited because they are dog people and they are puppy people, they're going to come to the page, and now they have a reason to come back because you're talking about something they care about, right? Nobody comes back to a group or a page where somebody's not talking about anything that they care about or where they're always selling. So you are 100. Oh, you're so welcome. You are 100% on the right track, Meredith. Free yourself. Let it go. Like Elsa, just let it go. Gosh, I wish I had that on here already. I would just upload it. I would have shown it. I would have pressed the little show button and been like, look at Elsa. But I think that Facebook may have had something to say about that in terms of copyright and trademark. But yeah, so let it go and be yourself. And I promise you, I just want everybody to know who is on this. I promise you that your group size will drop. It will drop. If you're lucky, it'll drop a lot. Okay. Because that means because if it drops a lot, here's what you've learned immediately. It means that the reason that you're having trouble selling in your group is not because of what you're doing. I mean, it is because of what you're doing. It's because you weren't showing yourself truthfully, but more authentically. But what it really is doing is it's showing that the reason that people aren't engaging, right, is because they didn't want to be there, right? Or they forgot they were there. And it tells you that now that you are showing yourself, that more people are going to engage because more people will see it. So the hardest part about running a business online and on Facebook and whatnot is diagnosing the problem, right? When you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm not selling a lot. I don't know why people aren't engaging. It's so hard to diagnose the issue and to figure out what the problem is. But once you figure out that the problem is that you're not posting true to yourself and you're feeling like you're constricted because you're trying to please everybody, once you figured out that problem, you're like, okay, I'm gonna just be myself. Everything else starts to fall into place. It cascades into place. And so now suddenly you see your business changing. It's terrible if you say, I don't know why it's not working, and I say, you know what, I don't know why it's working. There's really nothing you can do. It really sucks for you, right? Well, now you don't feel hopeful. Now you feel like, well, why am I even doing this in the first place? And then you start to ask yourself, should I give up? Should I even be doing this? Like, am I ever going to come out of this rut? Right? This tells you that there's a solution to the problem you're having, and that's the solution. I'm going to look at these. Okay. Lauren says she sings to herself while she's live. They weren't your people in the first place. Oh, thank you so much, Lauren. Oh, yeah, no, I have a lot of the stuff I train on is free. The paid one is coming tomorrow. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. Like, seriously, I worked so hard on it for you guys because I knew how important this was. And every time I thought I was done, I was like, I want to give them another resource. I want to give them another tool. I want to make sure that you have everything you need. And I was like, what can I do? And so I was like, this literally is like a labor of love. It's like when you build something with your hands for someone, like your dad or your sister or your husband or your brother or whatever, or your partner. And you're just like, you give it to them because you've just built this birdhouse, or whatever it is that you built with your hands. Like, that's how I feel. Only what I built is for like everybody. And there's so many of you. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just hope everybody likes it. If you don't, then you don't. It happens, no pressure, but I hope that you guys like it. I know I'm so like weird about this because I'm just so excited. I can't help it. Okay. All right, let's go on. All right. How many differentiators would you use? So Tracy, I would be very strategic about it. So the training that comes out tomorrow, we'll talk about how you make that decision. So you should have a little bit more information to make that decision later. And then you can use the Audience Insights tool in here to just sort of go through and look and see. Somebody said Agnes and Dora. I don't think Agnes and Dora actually has, not everything is going to have something in here, by the way. All right, let's say World of Warcraft, because I can't help myself. Okay. World of Warcraft people, very likely to like, not likely to share. You can narrow it down using the Audience Insights. So what I would recommend, Tracy, what I would recommend for you is start with your very long list. It's totally fine to have a very long list to start. And then you can use the Audience Insights tool to narrow it down. So like, for example, when we went through this, we noticed that Grey's Anatomy is the outlier from everything else that we're doing. The ages matched for the others. Their interaction rate matched, the age was very outliery. So at this point, we're going to want to decide, maybe we take Grey's Anatomy off. Maybe we do that as like a test at some point. But for right now, I might keep Grey's Anatomy off of that. Like, so you can make your decisions based on the commonalities that you see between your target audience and your target audience selection and what you learn about them. Okay. I'm going to answer some more questions. I have another 2 minutes and then I got to go and teach a class. Okay. Yes, Sabrina asked, should we use this info for our personality post so we don't come across as spammy? Yes, absolutely. Mindy says she knew this subconsciously. That's how you're going to get rid of the people from the loops. So as long as you start doing this, you'll lose those people and then you'll feel much better about life because all the loop people will be gone and we can undo those mistakes. Because I joined loops too. I'm not gonna lie, but fortuitously, I think we've lost most of the people. Like, we added over 1,000 people in the last month, but we're at 5,500 right now. We were at 5,500 last month and the month before and the month before, but I know we've added about 1,000 people. So our group distribution is changing and our engagement is going up like insanely. Okay. Yes. Joe Heffron. Yes. 100%. I'm just going to post this here while I'm talking to the rest of this. Okay. Oh, no, let's not do that one. Let's do this one. Okay. All right. So Kimberly says it's taken her months to try to figure out who she should be talking to. She didn't even realize it was a thing till the first place, but now she feels like only 5 months she's seeing a shift. Exactly. So she's seeing the change. You guys will also see the change. I promise. It took us about that long too. I think about 3 months is how long it took. So, awesome. Okay. So then, Facebook is giving us the tools. It's just about finding the tools and learning how to use them. That is key. That is the issue. No, dude, musical theater. Perfect. That's amazing. I went to Emerson, so they were all musical theater majors. So that's totally normal. Okay. All right. So, all right. So here, I'm just going to do this now. I'm going to hide this one and do this one. All right. So I have a mailing list. You can fill out my, I have a mailing list that's starting up. If you look on, I didn't post the link in here, so I'll post it at the end. You basically sign up for it, and then I will let you know when registration is open for 100 15-minute slots for one-on-one coaching. Okay. So if you want one-on-one coaching with me for 15 minutes, the post is on the Direct to Success page of the Business Strategy Group, and I will post it down here too after I do my training. You can register. I currently have, I think, about 400 or 500 people on the list already for only 100 slots. But you guys, the ones who fill out that form that I'm going to post at the end of the comments here when I'm done with my training, you will get the email first. Okay, so which means you guys all get to register before anyone else on my list, before anyone else in the Business Strategy Group. You guys get the email 3 days before everyone else. Okay, and then so whoever fills out that form. Okay, so don't worry. I'm going to be sending out the email in a couple of days, so you have a couple of days to fill it out. So don't worry about it. I will put it at the end of this post, I promise. There are tickets available to Rhode Island and Connecticut. The links are up here at the top of this post, and then our class. No, Maura, if you already registered for it, you don't have to do it again. I'm just letting everybody know that it exists, so that it's a thing that they know that it is. If you have already registered, you don't have to again. You will get the email. You are always welcome to obviously double check and register, but make sure that it's the post that I specifically say register here, because each link that I create puts a different tag on you to say, they're interested in the 15-minute coaching, so I can make sure that you guys get it. Okay, so I'm going to go do my training. You guys have been super, super awesome. When we do the live training, so the training that comes out tomorrow, the course has this in detail. It teaches you how to use the Audience Insights, where to find it, what to do with it, tools and resources. There's a walkthrough for it. There's also, yes, you'll still get the email first. All y'all get the email first. Everyone who fills out the form that's in the Business Strategy Group and on the Direct to Success page that say they want to be notified when 15-minute sessions come up, you all get it first. So the course comes out tomorrow. I am super excited. I will announce it in the emails. I will announce it on the Direct to Success page, and I will announce it on Business Strategy so that all y'all can get it when it comes out. If I can make my heart stop beating, because, oh my gosh, I'm like so excited. But thank you guys so much. There is way more of this to come in the future. I'm going to do a lot more of these little sessions where we do the one-on-one trainings, not one-on-one, but little group trainings. And if there is something, I'm going to post something on Business Strategy to get an idea of what you guys want to be trained on these Wednesday calls. And that way I can pick things that you guys are interested in. The price for the course is going to be $40, Casey. But for those of you who get everyone who's part of my mailing list and part of the Business Strategy Group gets $8 off for the first week until the end of the week. So till Sunday. So if you buy it before Sunday, then you get $8 off on that one, because I want to reward you guys and thank you guys for being amazing, amazing group members, amazing participants, amazing teammates, just amazing in general people. So there's $8 off all the way up until Sunday, and then it goes to the $40. So it's not prohibitive either way, but I did want to do something special for you guys. All right, so I'm going to go train. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I will see you guys next week.